everybody, this is Brody from Big Red Disc Golf. Today I'll be bringing you my in the bag, in the cart in this case. I know you guys got Andrew's the other day, so I figured it was my turn. I don't know if you can tell or not, I have a couple more discs than he does. Bit of a problem, some might say a solution though, so we're going to get started now. Pull out my putters here. I usually putt with K1 Ricos. I really like the tackiness in my hand, but as it's gotten a little bit colder, this plastic seems to get a little bit firm on me. So I've made the switch over to the Electron Pilot. This is a Cosmic Electron Pilot. It's got those cool burst effects. Really recommend you guys check this disc out for $12.99 or something like that. Great glide, goes really straight when you putt it, especially on a spin putt. Utility discs I carry at the moment. I have a super beat up blowfly for getting out of crap and also landing like a gnarly spike hyzer that will bend up and sit. Very fun disc to play with there. Over here I've got my Pro Pig, which has really low glide, pretty overstable. I'm sure you guys all heard about the Pig at this point. I love this thing. That Pro plastic feels really good. The AGL Bow Bob. I usually rotate this thing with a Stego, but this Stego is getting pretty beat up. I say it has Bane damage. Got a couple of dents in the flight plate. Love these things. Super duper overstable, short range, flick approach shots. Pretty much can throw it exactly where I want to at this point. Guarantees the 3 if I'm throwing the approach shot. If I'm a little bit further out and it's not very windy, I'll use a Fierce. It's really understable, so I get a little snap. Don't throw it very hard, it'll just pop up and go straight. If I throw it a little harder, it'll turn over and hold a nice Anheuser line all the way to the basket. Also a great disc. Moving on to more of my throwing putters. I've got a Kevin Jones Signature Series A2. I use this one kind of like a zone, basically. This one has a lot less skip than the zone that I carry, so I'll use this to get it to sit a little bit closer to the basket. Carry a spin for the same reason I carry that Fierce. I kind of like this one. It's got a really deep dish, so I can get a good power grip on it. I can drive this one a little bit better than I can the Fierce. Fierce is a little bit shallow. Everybody should have a Berg. It's another one of those discs that you can kind of just snap. It'll fall out of the air. It's really hard to throw this thing past the basket, which is really nice. Got a cool little die job on this one. Me and Andrew have knocked out a couple of these so far. Speak of the devil, I got a Get Freaky Zone. Not the OG one. I'm not that crazy with my collecting yet, but this Crystal Flex plastic feels really good, and this one has trampolines for legs. I can throw this thing, it'll skip like 6 feet in the air almost every time. Really useful for a couple of holes at my home course. Really beefy, overstable mid-range, kind of like a further Stego is this Justice that I put a die on. Really great disc. That one glide definitely is true. It does not want to go very far, but if you put some meat on it, it will never turn over on you. For my super straight shots that aren't as hard, I will throw a Fuse. I've got this Johnny McRae Opto X Chameleon one. It'll pop up the flat and really never want to fade out too hard, so you can throw this one right down a gap if you need to. I have a lot of overlap too. I'm trying out a lot of new discs at the moment. I've got a K1 CAC Z as well as a K1 Soft CAC Z. I'm going to start carrying this one now that it's getting a little bit colder. I love Cast-to-Plast. They're my favorite discs at the moment, I'd say. And these things are awesome. They fly really straight, a little bit of overstable finish at the end. Really predictable discs. Next, Signature Series Eagle McMahon Iron Samurai. This one's not as overstable as the numbers would say it is. The glow plastic is pretty good, and obviously that stamp is pretty badass, so it's made the bag. I didn't pay the 60 bucks that they're going for. I got lucky and got it on drop. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this one. I've thought about it a couple times, but it's just a cool disc. I've got a black Cax, not the Cax Z. This one's a lot more overstable than the Cax Z. Really nice feeling plastic though. That K2, K1 soft stuff is my favorite plastic in the industry right now. I've got a G-Star Gazelle in the bag, kind of for poops and giggles, some might say. Super old, like 90s era disc. They had a limited release on Innova, so I picked one up. Really love this thing. It's a really straight flyer. It's a lot faster than most of my mid-ranges. So it's been fun to test out. I don't know if it'll stay in the bag, but it's been good while I've had it in there for now. My new favorite turnover disc of all time, the Cast-to-Plast Sphere. You throw this thing on a little touch of hyzer, it'll pop up the flat and just finish ever so softly to the right. Really nice if you don't want to have that forehand skip. Really want to have something land soft. Really recommend this disc. Moving on to fairways. My straightest fairway besides my FD is this Halo TL3. I can really put a move on this thing. It's nice because it doesn't want to turn too much, but it also doesn't fade too hard, so it stays straight in the air. Lets me make a little bit of an error if I do, which you guys have seen, I definitely do. Got this really cool custom dye Lots. This is the first lotion dye I ever did. This thing flies great, got a ton of glide. Can work it over a little bit, it'll finish back straight to the left side for me. A couple of holes. This is one of the holes that or one of the discs that I drive with if I'm not feeling the driver that day too. Super duper overstable. This is a flare. It's basically like an end of a Firebird or something like that. I use this thing for my flick shots. If I really need to throw it out wide left and make sure it crashes right, or if I need to tombstone something or get around a corner on a backhand, I will throw this. I haven't got a lot of usage out of this yet. I actually just traded Andrew something else for this disc. It is a Saint and Opto X. Way, way, way beefier than either one of us ever expected it to be. So I'm going to do a little bit more testing with this, see if I can find a spot for it. If not, we'll see what ends up happening with this thing. But it's really pretty, so I want it to fly good for me. Got a North American Disc Golf Tour Falk. These Casaplast Falks are pretty flippy. This K1 soft one is not as flippy as I thought it would be, which is kind of nice. It just hangs up in the air forever for me. It never really wants to get to the right. Very useful disc. Not as the use that I intended it for, but it has definitely found a solid place in my bag. I throw that disc a lot. Now, probably one of my favorite discs that isn't Casaplast is this Discmania FD. This one is really, really straight. I don't have to throw it full power to get it to go straight. If I throw it full juice, I have to make sure my angles are right, or I will turn this over a little bit, but it hangs up in the air forever. It doesn't skip too bad. Everybody should have an FD in their bag. Moving up in speed a little bit, we're going to the Discraft Onyx. I love this for a really straight sidearm. The glide on it is great. I can hang this thing out really wide right on a backhand too, and it will glide, but consistently finish left. Another great disc that I would recommend people give a shot. It can be a little bit expensive and hard to find though. If you can't get an Onyx, try a titanium Vulture. I have found that those fly pretty similarly. Right now I'm also bagging a plasma streamline trace. This plastic is freaking sweet looking. I don't know if you guys can tell. These discs retail for like 14 bucks or something stupid. Definitely recommend you guys give this thing a try. It bombs for an 11 speed especially. I really don't throw this. This is kind of a flex, to be honest. I got a Skyrider here. Use it for a hard forehand skip shot or a big hyzer spike. I've only thrown this thing like 3 or 4 times though, because I'm really afraid I'm going to lose it. So don't spend 35 bucks on a disc because you won't ever throw it. Halo Wraith, really overstable. This one has a nice dome to it though, so if I hang this one on a little bit of Annie, it'll float for a really long time and not just crash out of the sky. Like I said, a little bit of overlap in this bag right now, trying a lot of stuff out. Got some pretty stuff that I want to keep on me, so. Big time bomber disc right here. The Evolution Enigma, the Vapor Enigma by Discmania. This thing crushes. It's not too flippy, but it's got enough turn to where you can really put a move on it and get it to flex out. Big S turn for you. I've thrown this one probably 425 max, and that's getting close to the best throw I've ever had, really. Now I've got a first run Hades. This is my big distance turnover disc. There's a couple holes I will throw this for a roller. It gets to the ground pretty quickly. This one's not super duper flippy. I have a flippier one here. Got a money stamp one that's really flippy. It's a little bit heavier though. This one's max weight. This one's 169, so I think that could be it. Really like this disc though. What else? We got a little shorter of a turnover disc. This is a Berserker. I'll throw this one when I'm in like a weird Annie flex position from a patent pending or something, or there's a big turnover shot at my local course that I'll try to fit this one through. It flies really good. If you guys haven't given Viking discs a chance, I would recommend you check them out. Last couple discs here. Must have left these two from the fairway pile. I've got a Z-Flex Heat, which is my short distance roller. Also a nice big high turnover shot disc for me. And then I have this Halo T-Bird 3. Way more overstable than your normal T-Bird 3. This one likes to spike into the ground, where I use this for a really strong headwind day, and it'll fly super straight for me. That's pretty much what I'm carrying right now. I'm sure I'll make some adjustments in the next 2 or 3 days at this point, but I I love having this card. If you guys haven't checked out Azuka, I got a steal on Facebook, paid half price for it. Very lucky. At this point, I think I might recommend one for full price. If you guys have any questions, let me and Andrew know in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and stay tuned because we'll have some content coming up this week. See you guys. And by the way, shout out to Disc-n-Dat in Florence, Kentucky. If you guys like what you're seeing here, I think I bought probably 90% of this from him. He's got great selection, good prices, and Disc-n-Dat, great spot to shop at. Check it out.